Hello, my name is Obeid Alorni.
Striped hyena.
The striped hyena is a species of true hyena native to North and East Africa, the Caucasus, the Middle East, Middle and Central Asia in the Indian subcontinent and the Arabian Peninsula. It is listed by the UN as near threatened, as the global population is estimated to be under 10,000 mature individuals, which continues to experience deliberate and incidental persecution along with a decrease in its prey base such that it may come close to meeting a continuing decline of 10% over the next 3 generations. It is the smallest of the true hyenas and retains many primitive viverrid characteristics lost in larger species, having a smaller and less specialized skull. Though primarily a scavenger, large specimens have been known to kill their own prey, and attacks on humans have occurred on rare instances. The striped hyena is a monogamous animal, with both males and females assisting one another in raising their cubs. A nocturnal animal, the striped hyena typically only makes itself visible in complete darkness, and is quick to return to its lair before sunrise. Although it is often considered a cowardly animal, due to its habit of feigning death when attacked, it has been known to stand its ground against larger predators such as leopards in disputes over food. The striped hyena features prominently in Middle Eastern and the Arabian Peninsula and Asian folklore. In some areas, its body parts are considered magical, and are used as charms or talismans. It is mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, where it is referred to as Tsebu or Zavoa, though the species is absent in some English translations.
Evolution.
The species may have evolved from Namaquensis of Pliocene Africa. Striped hyena fossils are common in Africa, with records going back as far as the Middle Pleistocene and even to the Villafranchian as fossil. Striped hyenas are absent from the Mediterranean region. It is likely that the species is a relatively late invader to Eurasia, having likely spread outside Africa only after the extinction of spotted hyenas in Asia at the end of the Ice Age. The striped hyena occurred for some time in Europe during the Pleistocene, having been particularly widespread in France and Germany. It also occurred in Montmorin, Hollabrunn in Austria, the Fernina cave in Portugal and the Genista caves in Gibraltar. The European form was similar in appearance to modern populations, but was larger, being comparable in size to the brown hyena.
Physical description.
The striped hyena has a fairly massive, but short torso set on long legs. The hind legs are significantly shorter than the forelimbs, thus causing the back to slope downwards. The legs are relatively thin and weak, with the forelegs being bent at the carpal region. The neck is thick, long and largely immobile, while the head is heavy and massive with a shortened facial region. The eyes are small, while the sharply pointed ears are very large, broad and set high on the head. Like all hyenas, the striped hyena has bulky pads on its paws, as well as blunt but powerful claws. The tail is short and the terminal hairs do not descend below the calcaneal tendon. Unlike the genitalia of the spotted hyena, the female reproductive organs of the striped hyena are normal. Clarify. The female has 3 pairs of teats. Adult weight can range from 22 to 55 kilograms, 49 to 120 pounds, averaging at about 35 kilograms, 77 pounds. Body length can range from 85 to 130 centimeters, 33 to 51 in, not counting a tail of 25 to 40 centimeters, 9.8 to 16 in. And shoulder height is between 60 to 80 centimeters, 24 to 31 in. The male has a large pouch of naked skin located at the anal opening. Large anal glands open into it from above the anus. Several sebaceous glands are present between the openings of the anal glands, and above them the anus can be everted up to a length of 5 centimeters, and is everted during social interaction and mating. When attacked, the striped hyena everts its rectum and sprays a pungent-smelling liquid from its anal glands. Its eyesight is acute, though its senses of smell and hearing are weak. The skull is entirely typical of the genus, having a very high sagittal crest, a shortened facial region and an inflated frontal bone. The skull of the striped hyena differs from that of the brown and spotted hyena by its smaller size and slightly less massive build. It is nonetheless still powerfully structured and well adapted to anchoring exceptionally strong jaw muscles which give it enough bite force to splinter a camel's thigh bone. Although the dentition is overall smaller than that of the spotted hyena, the upper molar of the striped hyena is far larger.
Fur.
The winter coat is unusually long and uniform for an animal its size, with a luxuriant mane of tough, long hairs along the back from the occiput to the base of the tail. The coat is generally coarse and bristly, though this varies according to season. In winter, the coat is fairly dense, soft, and has well-developed underfur. The guard hairs are 50 to 75 mm long on the flanks, 150 to 225 mm long on their mane and 150 mm on the tail. In summer, the coat is much shorter and coarser, and lacks underfur, though the mane remains large. In winter, the coat is usually of a dirty brownish-grey or dirty grey color. The hairs of the mane are light grey or white at the base, and black or dark brown at the tips. The muzzle is dark, greyish-brown, brownish-grey or black, while the top of the head and cheeks are more lightly colored. The ears are almost black. A large black spot is present on the front of the neck, and is separated from the chin by a light zone. A dark field ascends from the flanks ascending to the rear of the cheeks. The inner and outer surface of the forelegs are covered with small dark spots and transverse stripes. The flanks have 4 indistinct dark vertical stripes and rows of diffused spots. The outer surface of the thighs has 3-4 distinct vertical or oblique dark bands which merge into transverse stripes in the lower portion of the legs. The tip of the tail is black with white underfur.
Geographic variation.
As of 2005 update, no subspecies are recognized. The striped hyena is nonetheless a geographically varied animal. Hyenas in the Arabian Peninsula have an accentuated blackish dorsal mane, with mid-dorsal hairs reaching 20 cm in length. The base color of Arabian hyenas is gray to whitish-gray, with dusky gray muzzles and buff yellow below the eyes. Hyenas in Israel have a dorsal crest which is mixed gray and black in color, rather than being predominantly black. The largest striped hyenas come from the Middle East, Asia Minor, Central Asia and the Indian subcontinent, while those of East Africa and the Arabian Peninsula are smaller. The striped hyena is a primarily nocturnal animal, which typically only leaves its den at the onset of total darkness, returning before sunrise. Striped hyenas typically live in groups of 1-2 animals. Though groups of up to 7 animals are known in Libya, they are generally not territorial animals, with home ranges of different groups often overlapping each other. Home ranges in the Serengeti have been recorded to be 44 square kilometers, 17 square miles minus 72 square kilometers, 28 square miles, while one in the Negev Desert was calculated at 61 square kilometers, 24 square miles. When marking their territory, striped hyenas use the paste of their anal pouch, hyena butter, to scent mark grass, stalks, stones, tree trunks and other objects in aggressive encounters. The black patch near the thoracic and lumbar vertebrae is erected when fighting. Striped hyenas will bite at the throat and legs, but avoid the mane, which serves as a signaling device when greeting each other. They lick the mid-back region, sniff each other's noses, extrude their anal pouch or paw each other's throats. The species is not as vocal as the spotted hyena, its vocalizations being limited to a chattering laugh and howling.
Reproduction and development.
The gestation period lasts 90 to 91 days. Striped hyena cubs are born with adult markings, closed eyes and small ears. This is in marked contrast to newborn spotted hyena cubs which are born almost fully developed, though with black, unmarked coats. Their eyes open after 7 to 8 days, and leave their dens after 1 month. Cubs are weaned at the age of 2 months, and are then fed by both parents despite the male's assistance. Female hyenas are very protective of their cubs, and will chase their mates away from the cubs if they approach too closely. By autumn, the cubs are half the size of their parents in the wild. Striped hyenas can live for 12 years, while in captivity they have been known to reach 23.
Burrowing behaviors.
The striped hyena may dig its own dens, but it also establishes its lairs in caves, rock fissures, erosion channels and burrows formerly occupied by porcupines, wolves, warthogs and aardvarks. Hyena dens can be identified by the presence of bones at their entrances. The striped hyena hides in caves, niches, pits, dense thickets, reeds and plume grass during the day to shelter from predators, heat or winter cold. The size and elaboration of striped hyena dens varies according to location. Dens in the Karakum have entrances wide and are extended over a distance of 4.15 to 5 meters, with no lateral extensions or special chambers. In contrast, hyena dens in Israel are much more elaborate and large, exceeding 27 meters in length. The striped hyena is primarily a scavenger which feeds mainly on ungulate carcasses in different stages of decomposition, fresh bones, cartilages, ligaments and bone marrow. It crushes long bones into fine particles and swallows them, though sometimes entire bones are eaten whole. The striped hyena is not a fussy eater, though it has an aversion to vulture flesh. It will occasionally attack and kill any animal it can overcome. It hunts prey by running it down, grabbing its flanks or groin and inflicting mortal wounds by tearing out the viscera. The striped hyena competes with the grey wolf in the Middle East and Central Asia. In the latter area, a great portion of the hyena's diet stems from wolf-killed carcasses. The striped hyena is dominant over the wolf on a one-to-one basis, though wolves in packs can displace single hyenas from carcasses. Hyenas are frequently referenced in Middle Eastern literature and folklore, typically as symbols of treachery and stupidity in the Near and Middle East. Striped hyenas are generally regarded as physical incarnations of jinns. Arab writer Al-Qazwini, 1204–1283, spoke of a tribe of people called Al-Dabuan, meaning hyena people, in his book Ajab al-Makhlukat. He wrote that should one of this tribe be in a group of 1,000 people, a hyena could pick him out and eat him. A Persian medical treatise written in 1376 tells how to cure cannibalistic people known as kafta, who are said to be half man, half hyena. Al-Dumari in his writings in Hyaena al-Kubra, 1406, wrote that striped hyenas were vampiric creatures that attacked people at night and sucked the blood from their necks. He also wrote that hyenas only attacked brave people. Arab folklore tells of how hyenas can mesmerize victims with their eyes or sometimes with their pheromones. In a similar vein to Al-Dumari, the Greeks, until the end of the 19th century, believed that the bodies of werewolves, if not destroyed, would haunt battlefields as vampiric hyenas which drank the blood of dying soldiers. The image of striped hyenas in Afghanistan, India and Palestine is more varied though feared. Striped hyenas were also symbolic for love and fertility, leading to numerous varieties of love medicine derived from hyena body parts among the Baluch and in northern India, witches or magicians are said to ride striped hyenas at night. The Arab word for striped hyenas, dhaba, is alluded in a valley in Israel known as Shak-Diba, meaning cleft of the hyenas, and Wadi Abu Diba, meaning valley of the hyenas. Both places have been interpreted by some scholars as being the biblical valley of Zeboim mentioned in 1 Samuel 13:18. The Hebrew word for hyena is tsebu or zevoa, which literally means howling creature, though the Authorized King James Version of the Bible interprets this word, which appears in Jeremiah 12:9, as referring to a speckled bird. Henry Baker Tristram argued that it was most likely a hyena being mentioned. Please do not kill striped hyena endangered. Why environmental destruction? Together to preserve the environment. Please